Good day, my loves. Good day. Spiritually Savage here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back. I think right now, today, which is March 1st, 2022, I have 41 subscribers, which is 5, which is equaling to me is change. So, welcome. I appreciate you guys subscribing. I know in the beginning, listen, y'all, please forgive me if I wasn't so interactive in the beginning, but I literally was still in the middle of, not maybe in the middle of, but coming out of my dark night of the soul, but I was called to action. And I've still been hesitant. I'll be the first to tell you guys that I've not been as obedient to God, to spirit, to my ancestors as I should be, which I'm taking accountability for that now. Um, but welcome to my channel, my 41 subscribers. I am sending you love. You see on my robe, I'm giving you love on my cup. It actually says it. If no one has told you, I love you. I love you. And you know what? Here's a little special touch. Tiffany and I said, hey. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are well. I really do. I hope you are finding ways to bring your mind to peace and to find forgiveness in your heart. Forgiveness don't mean you have to fool with them, okay? Know that, and I am recognizing that, entering over and understanding. Every day I learn a little bit more. Every day, I do. Where, okay, it's like, okay, that's not your business. Pull your energy back. But for one, they don't want your information. They don't want you. They don't want me interfering. Because the way I think and the way I perceive things is different from the way they perceive things. So they always feel like I'm judging them. So this is the moment where I am literally learning in the process to allow God to handle them. That's it, right? So I hope you guys are well. I am doing great, but I have a funny story for you, okay? This is a funny story, and these types of things don't generally happen to me too often because I don't go anywhere and I don't do much. I'm in the house and I'm studying or watching YouTube. So, anyhow, I'm drinking a citrus tea with some lime, and what about a third of a lime and some blue agave, and it's so good. Probably about three. It's like about what 16 ounces of water and 3 tablespoons full of agave. I love the little bits of lime. Anywho, this is a funny story. So I think I'm going to title this, I think I'm going to do a series because it's funny to me. So when you get to a point where you're healed certain parts of your trauma and you're no longer trauma bonding with people who are just drawing energy from you. Listen, disclaimer. My channel is literally about light. We will talk about the dark because it's a part of the light, and part of the dark is within inside of us. And in order for us to bring it out and to become whole and to heal, we have to shine our own light on the inside of our darkness. Okay, we have darkness. If you've ever done something malicious, envious, in anger, you have darkness. Anger is darkness, but it's masking something else. I've always been angry, but it was masking deeper emotions. And right now I'm tapping into my 15-year-old girl. And, she's uncovered some things that I wasn't even aware of, right? But that's not what this story is about. Someone may need to hear that, I guess. I don't know. But I really just came here to tell this story. Because when you're on this journey and you've come to a point where you're healed, we're not always going to be like 100,000% healed. I think there's going to always be triggers because we're not just dealing with, and this, just in case you don't know, you're not just dealing with your own trauma. You have other people's DNA in you. You have other people's bloodline in you. You have your grandparents, your great grandparents. We don't know what they've done unless you have like a very intricate history of your lineage, but we don't know what they've done. So you're not just healing yourself, you are healing your family's lineage. That's why sometimes it's like, this is unbearable, and you like, I don't deserve this. No, you probably don't in this life. And then depending on how many times you've incarnated here, you don't know what you've done in your past lives unless you have memories, which is called deja vu. Or if you've done a past life regression or anything like that, then you really don't know, because we came here spiritually blinded. Back in the day, in ancient times, they had this awareness, which is why now you have a lot of the scrolls and the writings and the books that were destroyed, or, all that stuff. We'll get to that at another time. Right now, I'm still healing. And side note, that's why I kind of feel like there's a lot of information that I have that I've put together just by watching videos, but that also were downloads for me. And I channel a lot when I write, so that's why I like to read my journals. But I don't feel healed enough. Like, when you're on this spiritual journey, you realize that you are literally fighting demons. And I've never been scared, because if something happens, I'm quick to respond and quick to act. But what I don't want to do is, I don't want to make the wrong move. I'm hesitant. And so in that way, I am learning to trust my own judgment again. For a while, I was learning and doing it, but then I reverted back to watching videos again instead of trusting my own journey and not using the cheat sheet. You know, for those that know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, especially if you watch tarot. So, anywho. So, since I don't get out much, I have this neighbor, and y'all have heard me talk about this neighbor before, right? Last time I went over there, I let some things slide because I was just peeping the scene and seeing how everything was. When she said, his roommate said, um, we call you his girlfriend. I didn't even respond. She said that in the house full of people. She never said that to me when she walked into her car, by herself, or even with her kid, or when we sat out there talking. She's never said that to me. She's never said that to me. But she said that in a room full of his folks. I didn't say anything. I just kept minding my business. So then another time, the neighbor next to the neighbor, her and her husband, and I peeped it. I felt the energy. I don't want your husband. I've never wanted anybody's husband, right? So I peeped it when I was over there talking to the old man, talking to my neighbor, the old man. And she was talking, and then she said, I call him my boyfriend. Now, this happened within 3 days of each other, within his party, because I think that was the time that I was over there when she said that. And then when I was standing outside, she said that. So, that just lets me know that they've had a conversation or whatever. And I'm assuming it's because he does things. I don't know why. I'm not even going to try to assume, because I don't know how other people interpret things. They have their own reason on why they think that. So anyhow, he tried me yesterday. That's what the story is going. So it's hilarious. Because especially when you're walking in spirit, you see the intent behind the words, and you see the intent behind the actions. So let me tell you how this went. And I'm observing with my spiritual eyes, because I get it. I get it. When people are drawn to your energy, they don't want to let you go. They don't want you to leave their spheric atmosphere. Okay? They don't. And that goes for family, lovers, husbands, wives, cousins, babies, children. There are demonic children, which I'm still having a hard time grasping, but I see it. There are demonic children. And when we say demonic, please, if that's triggering you, then maybe this channel may not be for you right now. Or maybe you need to go back to my earlier beginning videos, because I understand and understand where you're at. So I'm not going to say, maybe the channel is not for you, but maybe you need to go back to the videos, because if me saying demon and demonic is triggering for you, it used to be triggering for me, so that's why there's no judgment. Then you need to go back to the beginning to see how I progressed to this point. Because when I say demon, I'm just saying that they are not healed, meaning their heart is fractured, meaning their soul, their spirit is fractured, meaning something traumatic happened to them and they have not healed it, which means when you have not healed a wound, what happens, right? What happens if you have a wound? And I'm not talking about a scrape, I'm not talking about a scar, I'm talking about something, a wound, something deep. If you don't, oh, Lucky scared the crap out of me. He just jumped out. He just jumped out, y'all. He scared the crap out of me. Because normally I hear him when he jump on the fence, but I didn't hear him. Probably because I'm talking and then the fan is in my ear. Anywho, but when you are unhealed, meaning it doesn't matter what you're unhealed from. It could be a marriage, it could be, but most of the time it's deep, because what the devil does, what the negative energy does, to keep us low vibing so they can keep our energy tied up in a knot, and they get rich while we stay poor, and while we stay in a lack state of mind. They get rich because they're feeding off of our energy. Why? Because we're going to work for them at a 9 to 5. We're going to work for them. When people say the man, it ain't the white man, it's the system. It's never been about a black and white issue. And why am I going into this when I just want to tell my story? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me finish this thought and then I'm going to get back to the story. I won't stop the message. I won't. Okay. So when people say the system or the matrix, it is basically those that are utilizing our energy to fuel their own dreams and aspirations. God did not send us down here to do that. God sent us down here to fulfill our own dreams, goals, and aspirations. But from the moment you was born and conceived and you got that birth certificate, my love, and they stamped the time and date, somebody used your birth chart from the very beginning, my love. From the very beginning, to keep you in bondage. Seriously. Okay? And I'm going to end that part there. So the story is, when you got to a point where you're healed, and you recognize patterns and people's energy, and you recognize who they are on the inside, not what they perceive to be on the outside, but on the inside. And I've done it my whole life. I just didn't know I was doing it my whole life. I spoke to their spirits my whole life, which, with my mouth and not recognizing what I was doing, I cut people deep. Now I know how to deliver messages to a certain extent, with a little bit of couth, as the old people would say. Speaking of old, this series is going to be titled, and I think I had a couple of them called this before, like Lessons and Confessions, or Lessons in My Confessions. That's what it's going to be called. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Lessons in My Confession. So anytime I confess a part of my life that just happened in real life, it's because there's a lesson in it for you. Always. We learn from each other. That's why I love people. I love people. I'm getting back out there because I love people. I love interacting. But at some point, when you start seeing the matrix fall in front of you and the people's masks start falling off, it's like, and the veil is down. So trust and believe what you see and what you feel and what you know, because they are no longer able to mask themselves. Know that. if there are any demons or any wicked people around you that have ill intent for you, that don't want to see you succeed, that want to see your demise, that are plotting murder on you, you will know it and you will feel it and you'll be able to see it, because things are going to start happening in your life. You may go to jail like I did, out of nowhere, through no fault of your own. Okay, you may start getting into car accidents like I did, through no fault of your own. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. Especially if these things didn't happen to you at all and they just start happening, it's like your luck done turned, like things is going crazy. You picking up addictions that you never had. You're doing things from your childhood that you haven't done in so long, that's on the negative side. Like literally, you know someone is doing stuff. Okay, know that part in the back of your head. But anywho, let's get back to the story. So I'm sitting on the porch. I had just came from my first walk today, and I'm sitting on the porch and I'm just, communing with nature, and my cat is sitting at my feet. It's silent outside, so we're just enjoying the silence. The sun is beaming down, so we're, getting all that vitamin D. And the old man come out, and I just watched him. And he said, "Hey there." I said, "What's up?" He said, "What you doing, chilling?" I said, I shook my head. And he went on about something. I was still in my head, so I don't quite remember what he said, because I was observing myself and observing him and observing everything. So he said, what did he say? I'm trying to think how the conversation went. Anywho, this part don't even matter. Anyway, I'm sitting on the patio, and basically he wanted me to do his hair. But first he said, "I got something for you." No, he didn't say that first. He didn't say that first. He said, "Yeah, so I found this weed." And I already knew what was coming, right? I knew. He said, "I found some weed, blah, 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 blah." Said, "I ain't gonna smoke it." I didn't say nothing. I just looked at him. I was just looking at him, because I'm really still in my own head, in my own thoughts, like, peeping and seeing. So, then he said, if I could do his hair. After he said he got some weed. And he said, I'll bring it to you. Something he said. I don't know. The funny part was when I started braiding his hair. So let's get to that part, because the beginning part don't matter. That's why I'm having a hard time. Not even a hard time. I'm still in my head thinking about it and going through details. And so it's distracting me. So let me just focus. Bring all the brains together. Let's focus, everybody. Let's focus, everybody. Let's get it together, everybody. Let's get it together. Okay. So I knock on the front door. I go for my walk. I told him, he asked me if I can do his hair. So I said, okay. I said after because I was sitting on the patio eating my salad. There we go. And so I said, after I finish eating, I said, and after I eat, I'm going for my walk. I said, but I can knock on your door after I finish doing what I'm doing. And he said, all right, okay. So I had been drinking water all day. So I started my walk, but I had to come right back to the house after I walked the neighborhood. Come back to the house to use the bathroom. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead. Since I'm already back over here, let me use the bathroom. Let me go ahead and do old man hair, so that way I can go ahead and do my walk and I ain't got to worry about, a commitment. So, and understand, and understand, everybody who knows me knows I love doing hair. I don't care. I really do. It don't matter if it's a girl hair, if it's a boy hair. I love doing hair. It's therapeutic for me. That's why I do my own hair. So it's not that he has to pay me, which I'll get to why I said that. But, because I've done it for free. I've done it for free. I have. So I don't know. And I've never said to him that he has to pay me. I have said that to Miko, but I didn't say it that way. I had done her hair for free a couple of times, and then it was like, okay, during this time, you know, um, this was early on in my awakening. And after I'd done her hair free a couple of times, um, I think I charged her the third time when she asked me to do it, because she was asking me to do it. But it wasn't because she was asking me, it was the demand on it. Well, I want it like this and I want it like that. Okay, that's stylist. And of course, y'all know I did my whole entire family's hair and friends' hair and everybody hair for weddings, proms, all of that stuff for free. And then the moment I started charging them, they had an attitude about it, and they'd rather pay a stranger $100 to do it, and the shit be falling out the next day going, dang. I pointed that out to them too. That was petty of me. I don't know. But yeah, it was like, I do people hair with love and tender and care and perfection. His hair was laced. His hair was laced. Okay? I take pride in the work that I do. Anywho, I just went off on a tangent there, and I'm okay with that. So, I come back, and I don't use any of my products. He has to, or my combs, he has to provide everything. So, I knock on the front door, and he opens the door, and I said, "You gonna open the garage?" He was like, "Girl, come on in here." Miko, I don't see his daughter's card there. And why am I saying her name? I don't know why. Maybe they're listening or talking about me. I don't know. At this time. What time is it? It's 9:15 in the a.m. I don't know. Anyhow, I don't see nobody car out there but his. So, Spidey senses is on 10, especially after the whole two-time comment about the girlfriend type thing. So I go in the house and I walk straight to the garage and walk out and open the garage door. I ain't sit on no couch. I ain't stop. I walked straight through. He said he had his grandbaby. I said, "Where the grandbaby?" He said, "In my room." I said, "Well, bring him out here. While I do your hair." Because in my mind, I'm thinking that nobody was there because he had the baby. And I didn't see nobody else's car out there. So I go out, and I brought my own music because I was listening to my African music playlist that I'm listening to on YouTube. So I went out there. I'm already feeling good, feeling great. You know what I'm saying? So I go over there and I turn my music on, and they got a Chase Lounge, so I just lay on the Chase Lounge, and the sun is beating down on me, and I wait for him to come out. He comes out with the baby, holding the baby in his arms. I was like, "You gonna hold the?" I'm thinking in my head, "You gonna hold the baby the whole time I'm doing your head?" I said, "Well, where's his chair?" I said, "Well, let him bring the chair." So I said, "Well, let me hold the baby." So I get the baby and I hold the baby and talk to the baby. Baby sitting straight up. And I said, "Well, go get his chair." I said, "So you ain't got to hold him." I said, "So that way he don't get like ultra spoiled. Like when a baby cry, definitely pick him up. But if they already quiet and everything, sit him down. Let him, get to know his own energy instead of you interfering." This is what I'm thinking in my head when I say go get the chair. Anyway, he go get the chair. I put the baby in the chair and I start doing his hair. I'm talking about, it looked like a professional did it. Like he went to the braid shop and they did it. I'm talking about, it was smooth and silkened with the jam he provided, like tight. So as I'm doing his hair, this is how the devil will try you. This is how negative energy tries you. And this is what gaslighting is. This is what people do when they're trying to subjugate your energy, when they're trying to control your energy, when they're trying to control the narrative around you, when they're literally trying to control the energy and the narrative around you. Okay, that's why you have to be mindful and be aware of the words people use around you and when they're directing them to you. Because even though a lot of people are not aware of it, they're cursing you. Okay, I've already talked about when people speak ill on your name, when people have ill intent, and when people are gossiping about you and it's negative, that is a form of black magic because everything is energy. So the intent before you even spoke the words, the energy that you felt before you even made an action, all of that goes together. And if it's being directed at the person, you on the phone talking about, I can't stand that this and I can't stand that and da 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 da, you literally are sending negative energy to that person. You got to be careful. That's the one thing, that's one of the one things, that's one of the most important things that they didn't tell us when we incarnated here. When they took our spirituality away and gave us religion, they stripped us from protecting ourselves spiritually. We literally just, I'm trying to find another word other than cursing. But right now, all I'm hearing is we just shitted on ourselves. We did. Because we were unaware of who we are and who we were spiritually. We shitted on ourselves. So anyway, when you come in contact, when you're awakened to the veil that has been lifted, you recognize that when people speak to you and they speak to you in a certain manner, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, because sometimes men, people will use words around you that emasculate you. And if you've been MK Ultra like I was, if you've been caught in the narcissistic spider's web like I was, if you've been mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually abused like I was, then it's like you allow it, especially if you're an empath, because you like, you don't want to cause friction, you don't want to cause no problems. So you hear it and you don't correct it, but you absorb that energy and it becomes a part of you. But it's not who you are. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you hear it? Do you feel me? Okay? You hear what I'm saying? So, in this instance, because of I am aware to that, people just can't say anything to me anymore. You just can't speak a certain kind of way to me anymore. And I've always been that way, but along the way, it was chipped away. And by the time I made that decision and went against myself, it was like, shoo, down the wrong rabbit hole, but the right one, because it brought me to this space. So at the time it felt wrong, but I understood and know now that I had to face the darkness because I didn't believe it existed. I thought it was, I really did. I was always loving light. After watching certain terrorists, it was like, you can't always be loving light. There has to be a balance. But I didn't see the darkness. And when it's pierced my veil or my rose-colored glasses, it was like an isolated incident, except when Sandra Bland and George Floyd. But I recognize that this is part of a bigger scheme, and I don't fully understand or overstand it. So don't get me wrong, I'm still as much in the dark as a lot of you are as well. A lot of things have not been revealed to me, but right now I'm focusing on healing. Because once I heal to a certain level, understand it's a process, to a certain level, then my consciousness will awaken to a certain level. And that's what I'm striving for additional peace of mind. I have peace of mind now, given where I'm at. But once I'm interacting with the matrix, it's a different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. So yeah. Anywho, back to the story. This is already turning. Let me just be quick. Let me tell the story really fast, because I can talk for hours, and I really don't want to do that right now. I got books all over my bed, and I want to get to studying. But so I'm doing his hair, and ain't nothing being said. Just doing his hair. I'm listening to the music. You know, he tapping. You know, the baby sitting over there chilling. And about like 5 minutes later, the baby mama walk out, and so they chat for a minute about. I say hey to her, of course. They chat for a minute about doctor's appointments and something. And then she go, Daddy. And he was like, what? She was like, I really wish you get your hair cut. And in my head, I'm laughing. I said, okay, somebody feeling a certain kind of way. I ain't saying nothing. And he said, I really wish you get your hair did. I was tickled. I was so tickled. But I didn't even say that. I kept straight face. I didn't even smile, smirk, or nothing. I just kept braiding his head. That shit was hilarious, though. I was crying on his side. I was dying. Y'all, I was cracking up. I was so tickled. And she was like, I'm getting my hair done such and such a day. He said, well, I'm getting my hair done now. I still ain't saying that. I ain't smiling, I ain't saying that. I kept a whole entire poker face, but I was so tickled. Y'all are getting really what I felt on the inside because I was tickled. I got my African music playing in the background. I just smoked the joint that he gave me. I am cracking up on the inside. But I could tell she felt a certain kind of way because she kept going on about it. She was like, um, why don't you let so and so cut your hair? And he was like, no, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah. Now, I know she was feeling some kind of way because, first of all, when he came down, he said, I will get her to do it, but I like the way you do it. Now, people could take that as sexual or whatever, but if you saw how she braided his hair, you understand why. So, and I'm gonna say that's all I'm gonna say because she's a young lady, and so she wasn't down there when he said that. So when she came down and she started that, I know she felt that. I know she felt that. But then I also felt like she may have felt that way because he gives me stuff. He don't give me no money. He don't give me none of that stuff. And people who have a warped mind that have done things like sleep with men for gifts and money, that's where their mind goes. That's not where my mind goes because I've never done that. He knows me. So, but I've always had what people say, I don't know what they